What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have a straight out lens review for you guys. I've been working really hard on this one. So I have the Sigma 85mm 1.4 DGDN, which is the new 85mm for Sony from the Sigma range. Now, as always, raw files will be available in the description below, so if you click that link, you'll be able to download the images for yourself and compare them on your own screen so you can really see the difference. It's a little bit hard to compare sometimes on video, but I've filmed this in 4K, so hopefully you guys can see those. Next, if I need to correct myself, I do that in the description or in the pinned comments, so check those because I don't script any of these videos and sometimes I get things wrong, so make sure you check that out. So firstly, I want to talk about build quality as always, and this one is built really fantastic. It's much better than the old Sigma lenses that were kind of half adapted but weren't. It has everything you need on it, like an AF/MF switch for focus, a function button which you can program to whatever you like, a D-click button on the side, and it also has a lock on the side so you can lock it into automatic mode and it's not going to flick out. If you put it in automatic mode, that just means you can use the front or the rear dial, however you have it programmed on your Sony camera, if you don't want to use the aperture ring itself. I do prefer using the aperture ring, and this one I will be doing the same thing. It has a weather sealing gasket on the back, which is really good to see. Otherwise it feels like a miniature 35mm 1.2 Sigma, which is really well built as well. And honestly now I think Sigma have brought up their build quality to be about the same as the Sony G Master lenses. Holding it in my hands, I can definitely tell that the Sigma is quite a bit lighter. I think it's about 200 grams lighter than the G Master. It's also not as thick as the G Master and slightly shorter, but overall it makes a much lighter feeling lens. Even though it's not massively lighter, it just feels a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller when it's on the body of the camera. Let's talk about focus now, because that was a big one for me. I wanted a lens that is still going to be really good in terms of video focus and photo focus. I've got a whole bunch of tests here, so I'm going to start playing them now because it's about 1.5 minutes of testing, so you can see for yourself. In terms of video focus, they're almost identical. The main difference being that the Sigma is much quieter. It's basically silent, whereas the G Master does have quite a noise to it. And you can definitely pick up the G Master on the microphone if you're using an internal mic. Not sure why you would do that, but if you're going to, you will hear the G Master over the microphone. The Sigma, you can't pick it up at all. It's the same as the 85mm 1.8 Sony lens. You can't hear that one at all either, so very nice and quiet. With the actual video focusing, it's great. I actually found the G Master tripped up a couple more times than the Sigma did, but they're both fine. They both do a decent job. Telephoto lenses are a little bit more of a challenge with autofocusing from like near to far and compared to like a 35mm or a 50mm, but they both did a decent job. In terms of photo focus though, the Sigma is around about twice as fast as the G Master. So I'm talking about the actual drive speed from going from near to far. The Sigma does it much quicker. I had a clip here that you can see which is slowed down 10%, and you can just see how much faster the Sigma gets to the focus point. And these were timed exactly from when I pressed the AF on button to when as soon as the lens stopped focusing and it was in focus. So the Sigma is about twice as fast, which is really impressive. So much faster and much quieter. I found the same in low light. My G Master, a lot of people say they struggle in low light. I haven't really had much issue with it. I've been shooting around here in my garage at like 12,800 ISO. And they both seem to focus about the same. Maybe the Sigma has a very slight edge, but nothing out of the ordinary. But in terms of image quality, one thing that really stood out that people were saying, and is something I've been saying about this lens for a long time, the G Master, is that the background is really creamy smooth. And I thought that the Sigma wouldn't be as good because the basic reason why that is the Sony has an 11 aperture blade design, but this new Sigma one has an 11 aperture blade design as well. I wasn't expecting that. Up until today I thought it had a 9, and then I was looking in it and I thought, hang on a minute, and it actually does have 11 aperture blades. So for me, I can't really tell either way. In some situations the Sony looks a little bit smoother, in some situations the Sigma looks a little bit smoother. I put a poll out with a bunch of different images for in a professional photographers forum. It's a wedding photographers group that I started on Facebook a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago now actually. And I asked those guys blind testing, and with those images I put up in the group, the first set everybody picked the Sigma, the majority of people. In the second set the majority of people picked the Sony, and the last set the majority of people picked the Sigma again. So that, if anything, that tells you that they're both really fantastic and both really soft and creamy. And that was one of the things that was going to stop me from trading the G Master in. But now I've seen it myself, and you guys just download the files and you can check it for yourself, but they're both very, very smooth in terms of background rendering. The next thing is sharpness, obviously, and the Sigma is clearly sharper at 1.4. When you stop down to about f3.2, they get about the same, not much difference at all. But wide open to like 2.8, the Sigma has a very clear edge in terms of sharpness. Now, when I was doing these tests, the sun came out, I took the lens hoods off, pointed the lenses right at the perfect angle so the sun was hitting it and creating that flare line. The Sigma is also much better controlled. I don't know if it's a bad thing or not, because I kind of like how that line is, but sometimes it really you just lose a lot of contrast with the G Master. But the Sigma is much better controlled in terms of flaring, and it's also way better controlled in terms of chromatic aberration. So if you check these photos out, it's just a huge difference. These haven't been corrected at all. The Sigma has basically no chromatic aberration, whereas the G Master has quite a bit. So at the end of the day, it's quite clear that the Sigma is optically better, it's cheaper, it's smaller, it's lighter, it has less CA, it handles flaring better. I just really can't think of a reason why I would buy the G Master anymore. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, after that, I can't think of any reason why I wouldn't. I'm not losing any money. I don't have to pay any money. I got a really good long term, I've used this for a couple years now, and the G Master's just been fantastic. But the Sigma's come along, it's smaller, lighter, and I don't have to pay anything, so I'm going to go trade it in. It's really down to you guys. The only thing I can think of is like long-term reliability, which I obviously can't give an opinion on at the moment. If this one breaks after a few weddings, I'll let you know. But it feels really well built, and I can't see that happening. So Sigma, you've done a fantastic job. Sony, I'm sure you're going to catch up with the next one that comes out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.